There's room down front if you want to come. Well, it's first of all, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bill Wise. I'm the director of the New York Sea Grant program. Pleasure to be here with you today to honor one of the stalwarts of Sea Grant in New York, and he's been that for many, many years. I was with the program many years ago, and Dave was just starting when I was just leaving the program, and now I've returned to it. And still he's here. Dave, it's great that Dave has built the reputation that he has in the realm of boating safety. He's been at it as long as anybody in New York State. And many of you probably don't know that when Robert Fulton first sailed that steamboat, Dave tried to meet with him before departing. So he's been at it a long time. He's been at it a long time. Has influenced so many people, both within the agencies and boat owners in the industry. He's really typified what Sea Grant is trying to do here in New York, and in two principal ways. This recognition that he's being given demonstrates a tremendous degree of stakeholder support for what we're trying to do. We work with stakeholders. We try to make the lives of New York coastal stakeholders better, however we can. And this recognition reflects success in that regard for Dave. And the second aspect of this that is noteworthy to me is it's coming from another state agency. And we don't work in a vacuum. State Parks doesn't work in a vacuum. We're in this together. And partnering together, we can achieve more than we could working independently. So this reward, I think, resonates in several ways with what Sea Grant is trying to do, and I'm as pleased as punch that Dave's getting. And with that, I'll just turn it over to Larry from State Parks, and he can tell you the specifics. Thanks.
I guess I get the little more long-winded portion of our program here. We have all sorts of nice things to say about Dave, and they're very easy to say these things. But good afternoon, my name is Larry Migliozzi with New York State Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. I currently serve as the director of the Marine Services Bureau, and we're responsible for all the boating safety programs across New York State. You couldn't pick that up. I'd like to welcome you all to this award ceremony for Dave Whitehall on behalf of Commissioner Rose Harvey, who regrettably could not be here today. Thanks for taking the time to be with us as we recognize and honor the achievements of a man dedicated to boating safety, Dave White. If you weren't sure, and you just wandered into the place. In addition to teaching the New York Safe Boating course, he's made significant and lasting contributions to boating safety in his job as a recreational specialist with New York Sea Grant and as the Associate Director of the Great Lakes Research Consortium. Before I go any further, I'd just like to recognize a couple of our guests today. Of course, Bill Wise, who just spoke. We've got Catherine Bunting-Howard, Assistant Director, Cornell Proctor Extension. Catherine, thank you. Gene Little and John Steinbridge, both from the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, our partners in boating safety. Thank you, sirs. We've got a number of Dave's colleagues from Sea Grant. Show of hands from Sea Grant, folks. Oh, wonderful, wonderful turnout from Sea Grant. Thank you. And a few reps from New York State Parks and Department of Environmental Conservation. And in particular, I'd like to point out Ro Woodard, our boating education specialist who put this program together and has worked very closely with Dave over the years. And it's kind of been a driving force in boating safety. And of course, most importantly, we have Dave's family, his wife Sylvia and his daughter Marissa. Please stand. Seriously, on behalf of the boating community, I'd really like to extend our thanks to you for sharing Dave with us.
You're welcome.
Bill sent him out in the field. Apparently, he's got a mandate to travel. I've been upstage. Thanks, folks. Would you like to finish?
There you are. She needs to the governor, so Veron's where you go.
Oh, that was you who sold it on me. Oh, I should have picked up on that. Okay. Oh, I think I'll go visit state parks. No, come here. Fabulous.
I'll just wear a shirt, it's okay.
Okay. Way off track here. All right. Let me get back on point to our message. The boating public is out in the water with one goal, and that's to have fun. In our business, we have one goal as well: make our waterways safer so the public can enjoy our waters, free from accident, injury, or worse. And we believe there's 3 keys to boating safety. These pages aren't going to turn. The first, simply enough, is to boat smart. Take a boating safety course. Know what you're doing out in the waters. The second is to boat sober. Remember that alcohol and water don't mix. It's against the law, but it's also life-threatening. And finally, boat safe. Wear your life jacket. That's our message here. I guess we need one for the boat sober row. The Coast Guard estimates that over 70% of all boating fatalities are drownings. And in almost all of those instances, if the victims were wearing a life jacket, they would have had a much better chance of survival. That is our critical message. We should have the Coast Guard Auxiliary, the United States Power Squadron, the United States Coast Guard. That is our message. And that's the reason why we want to recognize those who work so hard to get this message out to the public. As such, it's my special pleasure to be here today for Dave. In his more than 30 years with Sea Grant and as an instructor for New York State Parks, he's given so much of himself towards promoting the safe use and preservation of our waters. Professionally, he's created enduring partnerships with the United States Coast Guard and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, the United States Power Squadron, the Department of Environmental Conservation, and of course here at State Parks, to help promote boating safety and aquatic awareness at numerous events staged across New York State. In 2015, Dave's presented a new and exciting exhibit entitled Lakes of New York to enhance public awareness about the beauty and the ecological fragility of our magnificent waterways. This exhibit includes displays on clean engines, paddle sport safety, and invasive species awareness. It also included demonstrations, and I thought this was really cool, but by high school students who designed, assembled, and operated ROVs, remotely operated vessels, which can be used to transmit real-time weather data back for researchers, weathercasters, and the public. It was like that robot battle thing, only with vessels. Very interesting stuff. Dave also created the Clean and Safe Boat program, which has toured New York for 8 consecutive summers now, highlighting required boating safety equipment and aquatic invasive species awareness. Each year, Dave features a new type of vessel for this traveling exhibit. He's had motorboats, pontoon boats, sailboats, canoes, and this year a dinghy powered by a propane outboard. Kind of a whole new level of boating clean. He's a consistent advocate of life jacket use and can always be seen wearing his signature life jacket as the host of Discover Better Boating, a monthly TV spot sponsored by the Boating Industries Association of Upstate New York. This program every month reaches 25 counties and 500,000 viewers. And it's a terrific chance to highlight safe boating and boating issues. In 2013, Dave was presented with the Wear It Award by the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary for his tireless, consistent, subtle, and maybe not so subtle, approach to life jacket education. You've seen it, you're not always subtle. Versa agrees. Again, I'll just look to her whenever I'm not sure. Yeah. And if any dignitaries walk by, she can drag them away and leave them somewhere else. And as a volunteer boating safety instructor with State Parks, he's taught literally hundreds of aspiring boaters across Central New York. He's that rare and special teacher who not only tells the student what to do or not do, but he shows them as well. He's always willing to hop into the water and inflate that life jacket just to show off how to be safe. This is just a short list of his many initiatives and accomplishments. Dave's noted for building successful partnerships among the marine industry, government agencies, community groups, and waterfront stakeholders. His enthusiasm is infectious, and his sincerity is evident. He's always quick to note that his achievements are a group effort, and he gives thanks to everyone who's helped. Dave has also partnered over the years with Dale Courier of the Oswego County Emergency Management Office to conduct cold water emergency seminars for first responders throughout Central New York. Dave couldn't be here today, but he perfectly summed up Dave's contribution to safe boating. And I'll quote, "It should go without saying that Dave's 35 years of tireless and creative efforts have likely prevented hundreds of boating mishaps, saved many lives, and kept countless families from having to deal with the loss of a loved one as a result of a boating tragedy." We always hear about those tragedies. They're on the news all the time, unfortunately. But we rarely know when an accident has been prevented or a life saved through education. But through the tireless efforts of dedicated people like Dave White, we are confident that many boaters have returned home safe and sound at the end of the day because of those very efforts, and they don't even know it. On behalf of New York State Parks and the National Association of Boating Law Administrators, I'd like to present Dave with the 2015 New York State Boating Educator of the Year Award, an honor that is all too well deserved. Dave?
You learned.
I have a daughter too, so I definitely got it. Admire the award, let her okay. No, I'll stay. I'd also like to publicly recognize Dave as the 2015 NASBLA Northern States Boating Educator of the Year. He was chosen for this award from among 20 candidates representing the cold water states in northern United States. Dave was presented this award earlier this month at the NASBLA National Conference in Wichita, Kansas, and we would like to show it off again for him, Dave, if you would. And they also presented him with that lovely caricature suitable for framing with the nose and hats and framed, and I'm going to have to report.
Did you get it? Yes, it is.
Okay.
You'll be seeing this someplace publicly later.
Commissioner Harvey of State Parks has also offered her personal thanks to Dave for his tireless efforts in making the waterways of the state safer and more enjoyable for all New York residents and its visitors. We have a letter from Rose, and I'm not going to read it. You can all thank me now. But Dave, she does that on her behalf. Thank you very much. And finally, what would a boating education award ceremony be without the presentation of a life jacket? I know he doesn't need one. I know he's got some, but yet another one with the Wear logo on it, nice and playable. Dave worked in good health, keeps showing other people how to wear their life jackets, fighting the good fight, walking the walk and talking the talk. Sir, would you like to take the podium and say a few words?
Really?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll read Rose's letter now. Thank you for all being here, my state grant colleagues. It was nice that this could occur while we were all here for the state staff meeting. To Roe, my in-water colleague, through many, many occasions, the fellow staff at Parks, Larry, Brian. Congratulations to Brian. He retired last month. I don't think that has anything to do with me, but he came in with a really big smile on his face. Peter, who I've worked with a long time as well. As Larry pointed out, I mean, it's not me. I get to be the face of Welcome to Discover Better Boating, just for you. Because what I do, it is on behalf of all the partners. I get my ideas put in one ear, and John's already given me two today. You had to bring them over.
Wait 3 hours.
It's going to cost me, I can see that. And it is. It's all about the partnerships that we've been able to put together, because no one of us can do it alone. I certainly couldn't. I mean, if you look at this past state fair, I mean, the number of volunteers we have, the number of agencies involved in just that event alone, Discover Better Boating, the Clean and Safe Boating Program, each one of those initiatives that Larry so succinctly talked about and shared are all based on our abilities to come together as state agencies, NGOs, not-for-profits, user groups, businesses. Without, if you take any one of them out of the mix, it doesn't happen, no matter what resource they bring to the table. So, you know, it was a pleasure to be recognized by NASBLA. It's very humbling to be recognized by New York and my colleagues. And I'll end by just thanking my family.
efforts in boating safety in New York State, protecting our waterways for use of future citizens of New York, future visitors to New York. Again, thank you all. And with that, we've got some cookies and soft drinks and a chance to mingle, and Dave can tell stories.
We'd like to thank State Parks for putting this together. Really appreciate it. I think we're going to boogie right now.
Let's hit the bathroom on the way.
Bathroom, of course.
It's great seeing you guys. Thank you for everything that happened. Yeah, you are.
I can't move. Okay, dear. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Picture that day. Okay, that's good. It goes so easy. It's gonna be easy. I'm sure we have something going
It's so valuable. And we have say like we just got to hear our farm days. That was great. You taught us about life jackets. We had the hypothermia and the farm business. And the training, that they got from us. So they have some stories kicked up the majority. They've avoided something.
To me, I'm just realizing.